And that's how you're able to, with that state of mind, that's how you're able to sit down with these racist KKK members and hear them and listen to them.
Yeah, let me give you an example of something.
Please do.
That actually happens. Okay, so when one of these guys walks into a room with me and sees me, their wall goes right up because I am the enemy. I am black.
Just because you're black, you are the enemy.
Absolutely. Why else join the KKK?
Right.
Right? You know, I mean, what was the KKK all about? They didn't like black people, right? There are no black members there. So that wall goes right up when they see the enemy, and they're ready to attack. So I'm sitting there 2 feet away from the person, interviewing them, and I'm asking, how can you hate me? You don't even know me. All you see is this, the color of my skin. Well, and then as I pointed out, they tell you, black people are prone to crime. All you have to do is look at the prison system. There are more blacks in there than white people. But, black people are lazy. They don't want to work. They prefer to scam the government welfare system. And black people, are not as intelligent as white people. They're born with a smaller brain. All you have to do is look at your SAT scores, Mr. Davis. Black students consistently every year, they score lower than white people.
Are these the consistent talking points of everyone in the KKK? You're prone to violence. You're not as smart as me. SAT scores, this kind of thing.
Yes, because that's the narrative that they teach their members when you come in. Those are the talking points, because when you repeat it enough times, it becomes the truth.
Wow.
In their minds, one's perspective is one's reality. All right, so I'm sitting there, so when they walk in the room and there I am, that wall goes up. They're ready to pounce. So usually, when you're telling somebody things like that, you're talking to your adversary, and you are calling him a criminal, lazy, being on welfare, and telling him he's not as intelligent as you are because his brain is smaller, and things like that. Is that offensive? Of course that's offensive. Am I offended by it? Absolutely not.
Wow.
But why am I not offended by it? Because
it's not right.
True.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why would I be offended by a lie? But too many people let their emotions get in front of them.
Wow.
And then they start pushing back. And when you push back against a wall, guess what? The wall usually wins. All right. You hit that brick wall, you're not going through it. They're not hearing what you have to say because you're pushing back. They are accustomed to that pushback because they are offending you all the time. And so, they see somebody who is Jewish, somebody who is black, somebody who is Muslim, somebody who is gay. These are people they don't like. Mm-hmm. Or somebody white with a black person. That's like a race traitor. Somebody, they don't like. So they go on the attack. And within 45 seconds, they're getting pushback. So they are accustomed to that. It's either verbal pushback or physical. So they are accustomed to it. But now guess what? I'm sitting 2 feet in front of them, listening to them, allowing them to be heard. And so I'm throwing them off their game. Because they're
expecting you to fight. They're expecting you to overreact. And how do you actually not, react in a negative way? How do you sit there and take that? What is that about you in your DNA that you're like, all right, buddy, all right, I see what you're saying.
They're not talking about me. They're not talking about me. And you have to understand, they think they are, but I know better. How do they know me? They just met me 5-10 minutes ago.
Sick.
Now, if my mother or father would tell me, Daryl, I think you're prone to crime. You're very lazy and you're not that smart. If my parents were to tell me that, I might take a little more, acceptance of what they had to say because they brought me into this world. They raised me. But not somebody who just met me 10 minutes ago. No, I'm not going to listen to that. I'll listen to it, but it rolls off my back. And plus, you got to understand my background again. My parents were diplomats. We go into foreign countries that have policies and traditions and laws that don't, merge with our own. And my dad's job was to foster better relations with the foreign country, with the U.S. So you have to listen to those people and listen to them and try to understand where they're coming from. And then, you have these conversations. So here's the key. You cannot convince anybody of anything when that wall is up. All right? You need to lower the temperature, bring that wall down, and then they hear you, because when the wall is up, they're like this. All right? So when I am listening to them, showing them that respect, allowing them to be heard, all right, that wall is coming down. And when the wall gets down, then they feel compelled to reciprocate and allow you to be heard. Because after all, you gave them, that respect and that allowing them to be heard. You gave them their platform. So now they're going to give you yours. So I could go on the attack at that point because their wall is down.
You don't know nothing. You can't tell me nothing. That kind of a thing.
Exactly.
You sit back.
You're the one who's a criminal because you're the one who's hanging black men from trees. You're the one walking into black churches and shooting people and bombing their churches and burning down their homes. Dragging black people behind pickup trucks.
Which you naturally don't say, right?
Right. I mean,
but do you ever want to say that? Do you ever want to say you're?
Yes, of course I do.
But you hold it back
because it's true. These things did happen, and they still happen. Okay, yeah. So it's true. I would be well within my right to say that. All right, but no, if I do that, that wall starts going back up. I want to keep the wall down so they hear what I have to say. So rather than go on the offense, I stay on the defense. And what I say is, I hear what you're saying, but please consider this. I don't have a criminal record. Nobody in my family has a criminal record. I have never been on welfare. Nobody in my family's been on welfare. I've never measured my brain size, but I'm sure it's the same size as anybody else's.
Yeah.
And as far as SAT scores go, my SATs got me into college. I have a college degree. Now, I say that knowing that person sitting 2 feet in front of me barely made it out of high school, if he did, all right? And I know that I have more intelligence in my little fingernail than he and his whole clan put together. But I'm not going to throw that in his face, because if I did, that wall goes back up. So let me tell you, let me tell you what happens then, okay? So, rather than attack with all those facts that I have, I just defend them. And because that way he hears them and he can process them. He doesn't hear anything when his wall is up. So I can tell you this for a fact, not an opinion, a fact. Because years later, months later, whatever, when they renounce that ideology and give it up and give you their robes and hoods and stuff, here's what I found out has happened multiple times with these people. They go home and they think about what transpired during the day. And they're like, damn, I just had a 3-hour conversation with a black guy. 3 hours, and we didn't fight. We disagreed, but we didn't fight. And what he said about such and such, that makes sense. But he's black. But what he said was true. But he's black. So they're having this cognitive dissonance going on. They realize something is true, but it came from a black source. So that does not compute. And so it leaves them with a dilemma. And the dilemma is, I know this to be true. So should I disregard his skin color and believe the truth and change my direction? Or should I consider his skin color and keep on living a lie? That becomes their dilemma. And eventually, many of them go the right way. And they believe the truth, and they renounce, and they change. There will always be those who will go to their grave being hateful, racist, and violent. But see, that's why I say I plant the seed. I'm the impetus for them to change themselves. I don't like to say that I converted them. I just gave them a reason to think about it, and they convert themselves.
And that was in the introduction. That's what I said, is that you're the spark that causes them to go back and sit at home and be like, damn, this guy just blew my mind. He was smart. He was cool. We got along. He plays the hell out of a keyboard, a piano. He can do the twist. He can do it all.
And I can't.